Hi everyone, thanks for joining us today. As you can see, we are here with Graham. Hi Graham.
Hello.
Hi. Graham's a technical solutions consultant for our great friends at Economic Change. So some of you may have known him or spoken to him about your work experience project. Graham is also someone who looks after students on our admin course, going through their work experience. So thanks very much, and thanks for all you do to support Supermums.
My pleasure.
And thanks for spending a bit of time for us today. We really want to have a chat to you about your experience of Platform Developer 1 and indeed your journey into Salesforce. So I wonder if you could start a little bit about, start with telling us a little bit about your day job, so what you're doing now.
Sure, yeah. So as you can see, I'm a technical solutions consultant at Economic Change. So Economic Change is a technology consultancy helping charities and non-profits to deliver Salesforce. I work on our support desk, so most of my role is helping our clients who've already got Salesforce just to maintain it, troubleshoot, set up new features, and yeah, just kind of help them out as a day-to-day admin. But I do get involved in some project implementations, and yeah, bits and pieces of other work as well. So my yeah, day to day, it's typically we're helping out with lots of different cases on our support desk for various clients.
Great, and I'd like to talk a little bit about your journey into Salesforce. I know you haven't always worked in the Salesforce ecosystem, so I was wondering if you could share with us a little bit about how you got into Salesforce.
Yeah, sure. So I've worked in the charity sector for 13 years, and I joined Economic Change 6 months ago, 6 months today, actually, weirdly enough.
Happy
this is my
anniversary.
Yes, thank you very much. So this is actually my first consultancy role, and it's the first time I've kind of stepped out of the charity sector properly for quite a while. So I was in the charity sector for 13 years at various different charities, both very small, as you know. So a couple of very small charities and then some larger charities as well. And doing a variety of different roles, so some program delivery and program management, bits of project management along the way. I worked in impact measurement and analysis for a while, and I've actually kind of made the conscious decision about 5 years ago to start kind of shifting my career towards technology. I first encountered Salesforce at a very small charity. I think it must have been about eight years ago, I think, because it was around 2012. So the charity I was at the time had Salesforce implemented, which was a big thing for us because there was only, I think, 9 or 10 people there at the time. And it kind of ended up getting sort of given to me as the person who did bits of the IT and bits of the website and stuff. I kind of liked that kind of thing. So yeah, Salesforce kind of got given to me. And yeah, I just really enjoyed it and really started to kind of get it. And I actually, after a couple of years, being the accidental admin at a small charity, took on a small freelance project, and that really kind of boosted my confidence that I could actually do it elsewhere on a bigger scale as well. So yeah, I kind of took the decision that I wanted to start shifting away from the sort of program delivery stuff that I was doing and moving more towards a technology focused role. And then over the last 5 years or so, I've been kind of progressively moving roles and becoming more and more Salesforce focused. Whereas before, as an accidental admin, you might be like 5 or 10% of your time is spent on Salesforce. But yeah, trying to move into roles where it might be 30% and then 50% and then 75%, and then finally kind of come into Economic Change where I'm 100% Salesforce, full Salesforce.
Full Salesforce. And what training or what certifications have you done to help you achieve that on your journey?
Yeah, so I've mostly been self-taught along the way. I took the admin certification back in 2016, and that was it. I kind of just had that certification for a few years because, like, I found when I was working in house, there wasn't really any need or push from my employer or employers at the time to take those certifications. So yeah, I never really thought about kind of building out those certifications anymore. I actually did the admin certification just in my off my own budget as well, just because I wanted to kind of see if I could pass it and kind of prove to myself that I did have that knowledge. But yeah, over the last few years, I've been really keen to kind of pick up some more certifications, but just, you know, being in a full-time role, it was difficult to do that, and also to get the variety of experience to allow me to do other certifications, which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to move into a full Salesforce role, and economic change was perfect for that. And then since then, I've got 5 more certifications in the last 6 months. So I've got the advanced admin certification, I've got the platform app builder certification, 2 consultancy certifications. So the Einstein Analytics and Discovery Consultant, which is a bit of a unusual niche one. Not many people have got that yet. And the non-profit clouds consultant. And then finally last week, I got the platform developer one.
Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
They've made really quick progress over the last few months when you've decided to really focus on it, which has been really, really great. And I know it's great to find employers that are supportive of that development as well. So just a little bit about Platform One, because that's kind of what we want to find out a little bit more about today. What kind of drove you to Platform One specifically? What made you think it was kind of the right time to go for that certification?
Yeah, so I think it's kind of a natural sort of progression. So once you've done the advanced admin and the platform app builder, it's kind of the next step. There's some skills and that I definitely had to develop and kind of work quite hard on to learn to actually do it, because it's a bit of a funny exam, it's a bit of a funny certification. It's a real mix of like very basic admin stuff that, you know, if you've been working in Salesforce for a year as an admin, you'll know. So you kind of have like 25-30% of the exam kind of nailed already before you go in, which is kind of nice when you're actually in the exam itself. Yeah, because the rest of it is quite intimidating, and there is a lot to learn and get your head around. But the rest of the exam is a mix of code. You don't have to, but the code aspect is a bit of a weird one. I've been really enjoying learning more coding lately, and it's something that I've really tried to spend a lot more time on. But you don't have to, you know, be able to, you know, you don't have to be like fluent in Apex, or you know, you don't have to be at the level where you're coding things completely from scratch. You just need to, you know about some of the key functionalities within Apex. I think you probably need to be at the level where you're able to debug somebody else's code, or understand if somebody else writes an Apex class, you know, be able to look at that and see what it's actually doing, but not necessarily have to write it yourself. And then finally, the next aspect of the certification is the, you know, just the knowledge of the Salesforce platform itself. And that's what really kind of interested me, and particularly as I was preparing for it, was, you know, really challenging, but also really useful as somebody who is an admin, who's got a fair amount of experience on the Salesforce platform, being able to really like understand it at a deeper level, like how it works, you know, what the limitations are, what some of the advantages are within the system, and what the best practice is when you are actually developing things on the platform itself. So yeah, it's like a really interesting combination of those things. So yeah, for me, it was definitely like the next kind of step, and it was a natural kind of next progression to work my way up to. Okay,
great. And was there anything you found particularly kind of surprising, or particularly surprising about the course itself when you came to study it?
Yeah, so in terms of the what I had to prep to do it, a lot of people would think that it is just a coding exam, and you know, you just have to learn how to code, but there's a lot more than that. Like Apex is actually a pretty simple language. Like, it's a pretty simple like functional language, and I think most developers would actually find it quite boring. You know, if you know, if you're a Java developer, or I know JavaScript or something like that, or you know, if you're a Python developer, you're not going to have any issue learning Apex, and it'll probably be quite a little bit boring to learn, because it's just such a like simple language. But that's not really what this exam's about. You know, it's about that deeper knowledge of the Salesforce system, and that's actually where I had to spend most of my learning on. you know, learning about the order of execution for different transactions, you know, which is quite a big part of the exam.
So there's a lot more admin and a lot more about the platform itself rather than the code. So if someone's feeling
Yeah,
a bit intimidated about, oh, coding, it sounds a little bit scary, what would you say to them about kind of progressing to platform one?
yeah, you don't need to be. Yeah, I don't think you need to be a programmer to do this. You like, it's the type of thing that you're starting to develop anyway as an admin. And actually, you know, I feel quite lucky because I have been an admin for quite a few years now, and it's, you know, you just naturally get, you naturally run into a lot of these issues and problems over time, and kind of learn naturally how to do it just with experience, which is why I think, you know, it didn't take me a massive amount of preparation, you know, to kind of prepare for this, because, you know, a few years of experience will allow you to do that. But yeah, it's funny, like I said, I think, you know, a programmer, you could be the best programmer in the world on Python or Ruby or something like that, but, you know, if you think, right, I'm going to transition to Salesforce, or, you know, I want to move into the Salesforce ecosystem, it's not the coding aspect that you're going to struggle on. It's that platform knowledge of how Salesforce works as a platform, and what the best practice is to build things on the platform.
So if people are thinking about doing their Platform 1 certification, they're from an admin background, perhaps have been doing admin for a little while, maybe have been on one of our admin courses. What are your kind of top tips if they're going ahead with this certification, like in things they should study or how they should approach it? Have you got any top tips for our audience?
Yeah, so I think it's right so if you're an admin at the moment, or you've done your admin certification, and you're really enjoying Salesforce and you want to do more, like, the thing that I really enjoy about being a Salesforce admin is it's just like every day's a puzzle, right? Like every day there's a new puzzle to solve, and I really enjoy puzzles. And Salesforce is great because you get this like really weird puzzle, and, you know, it might be a finance manager wants a certain report, or, you know, your program delivery team want to put a certain spreadsheet into Salesforce and manage a program on it. You know, these are all different puzzles, and as a Salesforce admin, you have kind of a toolkit, you know, of different things that you can use. And the challenge and the puzzle is trying to work out which tool is best to use and how to deploy it. And the great thing about, you know, studying towards this platform developer certification is you're really going to expand the number of tools that you've got in that toolkit. You know, you're really going to, you know, have a whole new set of toys that you can deploy or use to solve some of these puzzles. So if you're somebody who really enjoys that aspect of Salesforce and wants to keep on expanding their toolkit, like, this is really like the natural next step for you to do. And in terms of advice, I think so you can either approach it in two ways. You can do what I did and just try and be an admin for like 5 years and just get as much experience as you can, like hands-on experience over time. And then do the certification after that. Or, you know, look at something like the Supermums course, and, you know, use that to start to reinforce some of the knowledge that you already have about the Salesforce system, and just take it on a few additional steps, but then also identify the other aspects of this certification that you don't know already. So maybe you've never done any coding before, you know, maybe you've never looked at Apex, or, you know, you've never looked at a Visualforce or really understood what it can do. So it'll help. And obviously the homework and the practical exercises, like, that is your hands-on experience, but it'll identify where, you know, if you are struggling with something a little bit, or you find something a bit more difficult, you know where you're going to need to focus your efforts. And also you've got that support there from your tutor, your you know, the Supermums network to say, look, I don't really get this, you know, how can I get my head around it, right? And then there's obviously the, you know, any work experience off the back of that is going to be super helpful as well.
Yeah, it does include work experience at the end, work on a live project, which I think really
that is really key. And actually that really, you know, that's what inspired me actually to go for this certification. Is, you know, I've kind of dabbled in bits of it over the years, but I've just done a couple of, you know, real projects for clients. You know, I've just deployed my first Lightning component. You know, I've just, you know, used asynchronous Apex for the first time. I've just, you know, so it's been able to do that over the last couple of months where I thought, actually, you know, this is kind of clicking for me. I kind of get this kind of works for me. So yeah, like let's actually look at the syllabus for the certification and fill the gaps and go for it.
I guess finally, once you've done all that studying, the last thing to do is the exam, which you did just last week. So I was wondering, was there anything you found surprising about kind of the exam itself? What was that like? Because I know lots of people can get a little bit nervous coming up to exams, not sure what it's going to be like. Have you got any insights you can offer everyone on that?
Yeah, I mean, the pass mark is a bit higher than the other exams. Like that scared me slightly. Not that much higher, but it is a bit of a difference. I mean, one nice thing is that you'll find about 25%, 30% of the exam you'll know as an admin. You know, it's not, yeah, like it's not really that difficult. Like if you know how master detail relationships work, you'll probably have about 3 or 4 questions in the bag. You know, so that surprises you. And I think if you can nail that bit, like, you know, you should, to take this exam, you want to be at the level where you know you're a good, you know, you've got a really good knowledge of that basic admin stuff, which means that you won't need to spend that much time preparing on it, and you can focus on the other parts of the exam. So yeah, about a third is admin stuff, a third is Apex and a bit of Visual Force, and then the final third is your platform knowledge. So what are the governor limits that you're working within? What's best practice to do certain things? You know, what's the implications of working within a multi-tenancy architecture, that kind of thing.
So like you said, a lot of that platform stuff that if you've been in Salesforce or done one of our courses before, that you're going to have a bit of a background in already. Yeah,
and you'll already know bits of it. You'll already have heard about it or start to understand it. And the key with this exam is really just to kind of take that on another level and kind of learn it more formally. And yeah, like a deeper level than you probably done on the admin certification.
Well, thanks for that insight. I guess finally, I just want to close with asking you, what's next for you? Well, now you've got Platform 1 under your belt, what's your ambitions within Salesforce?
Yeah, I'd actually really like to do Platform Developer 2.
Makes sense.
Yeah, I've really enjoyed kind of the chance to do a lot more of the development stuff over the last couple of months. So yeah, I'm kind of been kind of asking my manager at Economic Change to kind of, you know, send any more of that type of work towards me. So yeah, I'd love to get the opportunity to work on more projects like that. And start to prepare for my second platform developer exam, and that one is, as I understand it, a lot more coding and a lot more, you know, things like integration of other systems, things like that, which again, I've kind of practiced a little bit in preparation for this, and I really enjoyed it. So I'd love to do a bit more of that. And again, it's just adding more tools into that toolkit, right? So, you know, if you know, a really good example is, you know, a client came to us the other day and they were like, this page layout's good, but we really want it in 3 columns. And as an admin, you're like, well, it's not how page layouts work. But as a developer, I'm like, yeah, I can do that, you know. So it's that kind of thing. And I really like kind of having those additional little tricks and tools.
Yeah, that's really good and really interesting, because I think a lot of people see, oh, if I'm going to do all these certifications, that's, you know, I've got to keep going and build up to some of the, you know, the top levels, whereas actually each one gives you a new skill to add that makes you a better admin or, you know, or a better developer, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Find, whether that be in-house or a consultancy basis.
Yeah, and that's what I'm really interested in. Like, you know, would I want to work up to like the top certification level? I'm not really sure that I would. I mean, maybe, I don't know, maybe that's 5-10 years down the line. But yeah, at the moment, I'm just interested in kind of, I definitely enjoy racking up more certifications. So I definitely like to take more, maybe the like application architect sort of, you know, next, not a technical architect, but like an applications architect would be a good level for me. But yeah, I'm sure that'll take like a year or two to get there.
We've been making great progress so far, especially in the last few months. So congratulations on that. And thanks for taking time out to share your experience and your story.
Yeah, no problem. My pleasure.
We'll leave it there. Thanks, Graham. Good luck.
Thank you.